Be Trademark That Thursdays from my car yet again. One, we're going to start off real. Okay, for those of you who just tuned in or you go back and watch this recording, it is Trademark That Thursdays, which means I'm supposed to drop some tea, some stuff in the new year. Okay, I'm gonna go to the USPTO database and we're gonna see what was actually filed. So I'm not gonna do this on the live, but I have done this and I implore you to do this yourself. Okay, we're gonna put in quotation marks O.M.G. space GIRLZ, close quotation marks. Then we're gonna put a bracket, okay, next to it, open bracket, the letters MN, close bracket, and then we're gonna search. Okay. O.M.G. GIRLZ is going to pop up under a lot of different things under O.M.G. GIRLZ LLC in Atlanta. Good job. You're also going to see a lot of dead applications. You are going to see 2 live applications still. There's a third one, but that one was canceled for whatever reason. I don't know. But what I think is very interesting is the most recent O.M.G. GIRLZ application under there was filed in August, okay? August precedes the September filing we're going to talk about in a second. But in August, the filing is for dolls, right? They were never the dolls. They were a music band. And I don't know if you guys paid attention to when I did a Trademark That Thursdays on Barbie Girl. The song versus MCA Records and what happened there. But the doll company lost against the record company because this is the issue. I mean, this is going to be a very big case, and I wish you guys were paying more attention to it because this case is very, very similar in the categories that Disney sues upon all the time. I mean, Disney sued them for having costumes and dressing up at parties, okay, as Mickey Mouse, just bringing joy to the people, okay? And that's because Mickey is theirs, and this is a big copyright battle that they fight every year, and they coming up on the expiration of Mickey, okay? So we don't know what's going to happen to Mickey Mouse, but I know there's been some leadership changeover, and there's some stuff that's been happening. So let's break down this Trademark That Thursdays a little bit differently. I'm going to ask you guys a few questions when you're looking into this news media. 1, check the source. 2, is your source one-way leaning only in the sense of we're only going to tell one side of the story, or does it do the investigative journalism that it needs to? Because if you understand trademark law, and this is why I'm very big on telling you to get a lawyer and getting somebody who is proficient in this, you will know in order to determine whether or not a case is actually viable, you have to look at the sources. Who filed what and when? Who's done what and when? In August 2021, O.M.G. GIRLZ in Atlanta filed for dolls. In the same 2021 year, September 2021 to be exact, O.M.G. GIRLZ, it's a very interesting way this was done. It's creative lawyering at its best, but it's also kind of messed up. So again, I'm very interested to see how this case goes on. But in that application, the O.M.G. actually stands for something. If you pay attention to the title of what I'm going to put this video as, you will get the full layout of how they filed it with the trademark office. But they did something different. They filed a 1A application. The 1B application filed in 2021 was filed. It has not changed as far as I have seen from 1B to 1A. It might have, but it's still indicating 1B from looking at everything laid out. So right now we're still at a 1B application for the Tiny and T.I. company, O.M.G. GIRLZ, you know, the great band. So it brings this question, right? And this is really what these Trademark That Thursdays conversations are about. What's the issue? You know, is it the fact that they're finally going to get justice and keep their image and stuff from being copied? No, they're going to set a trend in conversation about using someone else's image and likeness to make money. I mean, there are bobbleheads and all sorts of stuff online made off of famous people's likeness, okay? If they are able, with this case, to transform and get the money back, right, for the LOL surprise O.M.G dolls, and they have decided to call them like Millennium Girls. It's a ridiculous name, but that's what they've decided to do with it. They've tried to like make it an acronym and be like, it's not really copying because it's acronym. It is definitely something you can do. I think it is still arguable. I've seen enough 2D office actions to know that it might be a weak argument at best. Have you developed a brand for yourself enough that if you were made into doll form, would it be, right? Oh my gosh, this is so amazing. I'm a doll now. Or would you be like, okay, but where's my money? Because where is their money? If the case is the costumes are almost identical to what they wear, is it inspiration anymore or just copying? And this conversation came up, y'all, when we had the conversation about Bridgerton, the musical, right? That we saw happen on TikTok with these artists that pushed and created their own version of what was already created. Okay, so it is a new era we are in, because what we have learned is recycled and repurposed content is what people are learning, because they get lazy. People get lazy. We do not have original content no more. You know how long it has been since I've been able to be on a live consistently with y'all and not work? Because for me, talking about trademarks is one thing, but having something good to talk about is a whole other thing. Because I don't just want to talk about random things, okay? Like make sex great again, condoms that are out there, okay? Because that's out there and that's news and it will sell. But I'm not talking about the trademarks filed for that, okay? Because it's stupid and it's not going to allow you to advance where you need to go and start thinking for your brand. You are in representation of yourself, a brand. If somebody were to take your likeness right now and make a doll inspired by you, and you don't have an opportunity to stop them, right? You cannot stop them from taking your own image and making it something because you're not famous enough or whatever. That is going to change the game in the market. Do you know how many celebrities that if I could just get good at copying what they look like, I could make a killing? I mean, that's the point. You have to look at what happens when people use your shit, and your shit can still be you. You, the person, you, the representative. People don't have a problem using you as a brand influencer. They don't have a problem using you to promote and push their products, but they have a problem paying you when they use the same images to promote and elevate their brand to get more money, and they cut you out the deal. They're going to give you pennies to their thousands and hundreds of thousands and millions and trillions and billions. They then give you pennies because then they can maximize their own payout. But the question has to become, what rights do I have to be able to have these items, right? My image, my name, my likeness, the way I do my hair, the way I influence the brand and the culture around my page. First starting out, those were the cases I covered, okay? I covered all those things to kind of be warning signs for you. If you've been paying attention to the Trademark That Thursdays content since we created it, if someone looks up hashtag Trademark That Thursdays and sees my face, I really believe in curating content that is honest, that is real, but it gets to the damn point, okay? And when I'm talking about trademarks, I'm talking about the fact that you do not know how much power you have to protect and enforce your image. We don't know how to monetize it. We don't know how to commodify it. We don't know how to take it to the next level. And that is where I have been shifting ever since I started creating the content, finding the pit holes. Speaking of, there's some pit holes that y'all should know about. But I want you to know something. Don't get caught up in this news hype. There was a huge news hype over the White Lives Matter trademark and who owns it. And honestly, it was a 1B application. 1B application means it was filed, not owned. 1A application is the priority filing. If you're going to talk about I own something, you better have filed a 1A. Because if I get even wind that you filed a 1B and there's a company who comes in and files a 1A that precedes your filing, That's it. That's a wrap. That's a whole conversation on you should have been quicker than that. This is not a lawsuit about who's right and who's wrong. This is a lawsuit about who can take your image, put it into doll form, make money off of it, and then swear up and down all that didn't happen. A lot of the people don't assume that you're smart enough to do that. They don't assume that you're smart enough to do what you're supposed to do. And a lot of times it's budget, y'all. We ain't got no money to do it, but we got a village and we got payment plans and we got opportunities like getting into accelerator programs, becoming pitch deck proposal winners. You can develop your business in a way in which it's marketable to investors and find the capital you need. There are ways for you to get capital and maneuver capital in a way that's different than how you've done it in the past. We live in a system where literally a whole business was formed when they don't own no cars. Okay, we got Uber. Don't nobody own no cars. They don't own cars. They own the app. You can create something that's going to generate enough income for you to be able to do this for yourself, because to be able to be a part of this conversation, to be part of the crafting cases on this conversation is something interesting to me. I mean, it might have been announced today, but it's been going on. This is a beef. This is a battle that goes back to 2009, 2010. Okay. The people who was thinking about it had the money to think about it. They had the luxury of time to think about this stuff. So T.I. and them, they've been making money. They've had the luxury to think about this stuff. So I know that was a lot, okay? It was a lot to unpack, but I want you guys to really pay attention to cases like this. But go look at the filings, okay? Go find out what the actual complaints say, what the actual answers to the complaints are. Don't just read the news articles. And if you can't find them, okay, I mean, there's a lawyer. You could hire them, okay? They can figure out. But my point is this: you have to be able to look at these cases like that. If you look at these cases and you get caught up in the drama and you reshare it for likability and black power, I kid you not, you're not gonna get what you need to out of these amazing cases. And this case is one of those cases that I think is pretty amazing. It's one of those cases that I think is a hallmark into how things will be treated in the future. If somebody is to take the image of musicians and bands and takes their image and puts it into a doll form and makes money off of it and says they were inspired by, whether or not they'll have to pay them. This is about royalties. This is a whole royalties licensing conversation. And this is where the money resides, okay? If you wanted to know how you can use your trademarks, that's where the money resides, okay? You have to be able to have a power to say you can't use this without my permission. That's where money is. That's where those royalty checks and all that other stuff comes from, because people have power to stop you. So I want you guys to have those conversations, and I want you guys to push yourselves to learn about different cases. And send me a case. If you have a case that's out there and you want me to break it down and you want me to look up the stuff, just send it to me before next Thursday. I appreciate, my people looking up stuff. But find cases that are trending right now. Find cases that don't have nothing to do with just drama, okay? Find cases that you think are unique, interesting, or present an interesting idea. And I'll break it down and explain it as best as I can. So I hope that you guys enjoyed this episode of Trademark That Thursdays, and I'll talk to you guys real soon.